So research before residency, I really feel it's like icing on cake. And so what that means is that it just makes your whole application very strong and very desirable for a program director. And I'm calling it as an icing on the cake because you need the cake, really. You need to have very good USMLE scores, your letters of support, your personal statement, and so forth. And the research is kind of acts more like an icing, just makes your application more desirable. But in no way will research replace your USMLE scores and so forth. Let's go back to that slide for a second, a little bit more. So that's my first take on research before residency. Now, the research also helps, like in my situation that I explained to you, it allowed me to have opportunities for US clinical experience because the same mentors that I was working with allowed me to shadow them and the fellows in their clinic. It allows for networking. In one of the interviews that I did with one of the matched applicants, she talked about how when she did a research study and went to a conference, people would come by, other attendings, faculty members would come by, stop by her poster, talk to her, and she talked about how she got an opportunity to go to another program to do like a rotation or one of these observerships. This is kind of a nice way to network with faculty members, especially if you have a poster and so forth. It also allows you to network internally. So within the division, one person can refer you to another person if you want to do these clinics, observerships, and so forth. So that's why a good reason, an important reason to pursue research before residency. Personal statements. So you can really talk about your research skills in your personal statement. And it just shows you that you're a well-rounded physician. You have many more skills besides just your clinical skills. So that's another good reason to have research in your resume. Like I mentioned, whenever people do research, it commonly comes up in the interview. The program director asks you about it. It makes for a very engaging discussion. So that sometimes people might also remember you by the kind of research you might have done, case report you might have written. So that's why it makes it very nice to pursue research. Post-interview communication, like I mentioned, the research goes through many stages. Maybe you're writing a manuscript, maybe then you're submitting, maybe it's getting accepted, maybe you're going for poster presentation, oral presentation, publication. So going through all these stages, it gives you a reason to communicate with programs and just shows the program that you're very interested in, being there. And it also assures a program director that you have the discipline to move your research work forward to the point of publication. And lastly, research career. If you're certainly very much into a research career, like you want to write grants, obtain funding, having research before residency, it's very much important.